2 o'clock Central. What is it? 3 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Mountain, and 12 o'clock Pacific. Hello, my friends. Michael Cole. As I promised, I wanted to engage you in a very, very important conversation. I'm going to wait a couple minutes. I'm going to see who's on before we go to work. I see that there's a couple people on. Let me see if I can find you on my mobiles so I can start talking to you. Let's see. Here we go. Oh my God, the classroom's filling up. Leanna, good to see you. Yay, I made it. Thanks for hosting. Thank you for coming. It's going to be a good ride. I'll wait about another minute and then we'll go to work. The classroom is filling up very fast, so I can tell there's going to be a lot of interested people in the conversation. You see me kind of navigating around here. I got about 3 or 4 mobiles in front of me, so I can see who's with me. And so if you want to talk to me or give me some questions, yeah, Nicole's in. Nicole's my buddy from West Coast. Ashley's in. Ashley, oh my God, Ashley and we hang out. We follow each other. We're on each other's news feeds. Thanks for this. Yeah, thank you for having me, Shauna. All right, I don't want to spend too much time because we got a lot to talk about. So anyway, the conversation I want to engage you in actually is a conversation I've been engaged in for probably the last 10 days or so. I've been in the business for many moons, and I've seen more change in the business, the world, and it's like this gigantic tsunami is coming at us, and the rules of engagement are out the windows, and we're all trying to get a handle on it. But I'm a hairdresser. I've been a hairdresser for many moons, and so my heart and soul is in this. I probably have been on 50 Zoom calls in the last couple of days, so I wanted to spend a few minutes with you to see if what I can bring to the table would help you. So without any further ado, the strategies and resources for financial uncertainty. I mean, I'm being kind there. It's like, it's all bets off. Sometimes I'll call it just navigating the corona tsunami and see if we can get on the other side of this thing, not only as survivors, but as we look back, it's a blessing in disguise, and it empowered us and inspired us to thrive. So I was with you guys, I don't know, what was it, 2-3 months ago, and if you haven't engaged in this webinar that I did for SOLA, do that. Angela and Melissa will make sure that that's posted for you, because those of you that were on that webinar, you're going to have a little bit of a home court advantage. That was 2019. That was like 10 years ago in December, and since then, as you recall, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm going to use some of this framework to engage you in the conversation that I want to bring to you this afternoon. So back then, in 2019, we used a metaphor. It was called Destination Wealth. I teed it up to a mobile because we're not only in the digital age, but mobile. And we had this beautiful little metaphor, this map that would take us, depending on where we found ourselves in our financial life, from chaos to stagnant to moving into advancing, that we really were showing some progression until it got us to this place called wealth. And we gave it a definition. I don't want to spend your time this afternoon talking about it. And again, if you watched it and forgot, rewatch it. And if you haven't, do it. But this up here in this little community here, we call it the few with many. The few of us with many dollars. And then there were the many with few. There's many, many people that work behind the chair that have way too much month at the end of the money. And, you get to a place where, 2 or 3 pay periods go by. And if we're in situations that we're in now, it can really cause an enormous amount of stress. So we're going to see if we can get you into a better place. And then as we move out of the tsunami, learn from this. There's lessons for us all to learn in this, so that a year, 2, 3 years from now, we can look back on what happened and see it as a blessing in disguise. At any rate, When we had the conversation, there were 5 rules that we were talking about that would fast track you to wealth. We're going to revisit 4 of those rules today, but in a different, very different framework. But the rules in 2019 was, if you want to get wealthy, if you want to have more money than you do month, if you want to like build a goose over time, we gave 5 rules of thumb. One was make more money. And you are in, being self-employed, being in SOLA, you can put your hands on the dials and knobs of that at any moment and dial that up by getting more focused. Since then, I probably have had this conversation a couple of thousand times. I'm calling it just raise your fuel. That was 2019 now. And then spend less, which would really, I call it now, today we're going to call it lower your burn rate. So at any time your income is growing faster than your expenses, over time you're going to have some surplus. And what we did with the conversation we had back then was begin to use some of that surplus to reduce your debt load, or you could call it nuke your debt. I think one of many sayings we said was when you're debt free, you're half rich. And then earmarking some of that money over time to save some money, build some reserve. And it's interesting, this is a time that we're in now that to the degree you did this, you're not as stressed out. I didn't say you wouldn't be stressed out, but you would have less stress and anxiety because you were building your goose, building a reserve, and for something long term. We weren't going to touch this for a little while, but now we're in an age where we may need that. So at any rate, I want to bring it to 2020, which is like, 2 decades since last December. That's how much change we've been through with the situation we find ourselves. So today, we're not going to be talking about making more, but finding more. Because, some of us, the world shut down. We're not in a position where we can go and, render service. So we're all kind of in this like limbo phase. So our stream of revenue went way, way low, or it's kind of capped, it's bottlenecked. So I want to have a conversation with you to find more fuel. And then we're going to send you to some places. I'm going to tell you that, and then I'll do it one at a time. And then that as you go find more fuel, and I was on the phone today actually with my own people that helped me with my banker, and a couple of other places to see, if I'm going to need some credit over the next 30, 60, 90 days, I really want to find out now. That's a pro-action that I want to be taking. And then, no, wait, there's more. This would be a time, spend less, lower your burn rate on steroids. We no longer have the dubious luxury of, because we're a little bit bored, a little bit depressed, we're going to go out into the world, spend money we don't have on stuff we don't need. The days of impressing people we don't like are over. So we're going to talk about that. And in 2019, I think it was, what was it, nuke your debt. Now it's really, if we incur a little bit of debt over the next few months to kind of get us through the tsunami, it's okay. Don't be freaked. We're going to give you some strategies on how you might manage that debt so that once we get on the other side of this thing, and notice I said once we get on, it's not a question of if. Sooner or later, we're going to be on the other side of this. Later's going to come sooner than we think. But between now and then, it's predictably unpredictable. So if we incur a little bit of debt, we don't want to be getting down on ourselves. And then if you have been saving money, and some of us have, it's okay to begin tapping your nest. You're using your reserve. That while we earmarked this for something a little bit longer term, if we got to go there, don't freak out. So, having said all that, I'm, like I said, I've had this conversation a few hundred times in the last couple of days. So, and some of this was, I call it finding more money, raising your fuel. And I think it was 1 through 5 actually, came from Melissa and Angela at SOLA, and there are some networks that you can plug into. So Small Business Association. If I'm you, knowing what I know, you're in business for yourself. You're going, I'm not in my studio. What do? I'm nervous. I think you can spend some time and start scouting out to see, if you haven't already done so, at SBA.gov, to see if there are some various loan programs. Well, wait a minute, Michael. But I don't want to borrow any money because I get stressed out when I owe people. I know, me too. Me too. It's called, debt anxiety. But we're in an era now where the rule book as it's been, we need to put it on hold and engage in something called, I want to survive this, number one, get on the other side, and then thrive. So we're going to get on the other side. If we need to find some money and borrow some of the money, we'll come back with webinars and show you how to nuke that debt at Mach 5, because I have a feeling that many of us are going to be more motivated than ever before once we get through this. The other is the SBA, Small Business Association, has really set up a specific economic disaster loans. So getting money now has never been easier. And on a daily basis, there are new programs coming out to help people like us who are self-employed to get through this. So again, rather than sitting all day long and worrying, I just gave you two .coms. One is SBA.gov, SBA.gov/disaster. Get on that. Well, what if I do that and they say no? I would rather have you engaged in these activities than not doing anything. You don't want to be listening too much to your thinking, because your thinking will lead you into believing that you shouldn't take action. Or because you're afraid, I don't want to take action. It's like, no, you're a warrior. Warriors can do hard stuff. So we disobey our fear and we engage on the website. I would rather have you engage on the website and not get what you're looking for than not do this at all. Number 3. There's a .com, and women-owned business owners can also visit a .com. SBA. It's another small business association for women. .gov/WOSB. It's a WOS Breddy, or write to WOSB@SBA.gov. Now, take a screen grab of this. If you're watching on your mobile, so you have this, or if you miss this, get a hold of Melissa and Angela at SOLA, and they'd be more than happy, because those guys turned me on to these websites, you guys. Number 4, check your State Department of Community and Economic Development Business Resource Office. Many states have assistance programs in place for small business owners like us. There's this magical formula somewhere in the ancient doctrines. You got to hear this. Ask, and you shall what? Receive. There's never been a time to ask. Well, I know, but I get a little bit embarrassed. Forget that. Pride is the number one block to true human progress. So we're going to demonstrate a special kind of courage in the next few weeks. It's called humility. Humility, the courage to disobey the fear that always comes with being humble. Don't let your pride get in the way of finding some resource for yourself. And then, no, wait, there's more. Number 5, and this was, I can't remember if it was Angela. I think it was Angela at SOLA just texted me this morning. United Way, COVID-19 has an economic relief fund. I have a feeling that's coming from the government, but check that out. There's an 800 number, a toll-free number, 866-211-9666. So get on that. And again, 5 proactive strategies that you can be putting your, downtime. If you're not in your studio, rather than worried. I was on my mobile all morning. I was on some websites talking to my banker. I was talking to a couple of other places that had this. Why? Because I want to know where I need to go to get more fuel should I need it. Everyone's doing this, so don't freak out. Now, I don't want to say I saved the best one for last, because I didn't, but I'm really familiar with summitsalon.com, and you want to go there as soon as possible and get the click prepared. And so what I did is, this is so important, say a little prayer and make sure that the Wi-Fi gods, because if they are, I'm going to be able to Wi-Fi my phone to and actually take you to the .com. There it is. Oh my God, it's going to work for me, guys. All right, so what I want you to do is, if you can, if you've got a mobile that you're using, or a laptop, or an iPad, or a tablet, go to summitsalon.com. Go to your Safari browser, go to your Google, and get to summitsalon.com, because I'm going to actually take you to the place that there's a lot of resource, and this is all for free. I co-founded this company, and the people that run this they're very, very brilliant people. One of my 11th commandments is, thou shalt surround myself with people that are way smarter than me. So the people that are really running this 24/7, 365, they're brilliant people. And so I stay close to them. They're my partners. So watch closely what I'm going to do. I'm going to scroll up. You don't have to scroll up. And the second page on the .com is called Get Prepared. And if you just touch the picture, what you're going to bring through, and this is our president, Peter Mahoney. He does a little bit of, we are dealing with an acute effects of corona on our families, our communities, our business. We want to assure you that your health and well-being as well as ours. I mean, that's a nice little homily before we bring you to the goodies. And the goodies, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I'm going, probably 15 .coms there, guys, that you can go to. And some of them are for money. Some of them are, if you go through a preparedness checklist, sanitation protocol, if you scripts for talking to your clients, best social media practices. I mean, this is rich. When am I going to do this? Well, you're going to be doing this. I'd rather have you doing this than in sitting down and worrying. Internal communications. I mean, it goes on and on and on. State mandated shutdown list, direct links to disaster relief. So that's there for you as well. So I've given you, like, what is it, six places to go, and to just make sure that you don't get lost in the shuffle. I'm going to get off of this so this will get big again. There you go. Again, now I'm going to tell you what I just told you. Why? Because it's darn important for you to have this information down. SBA.gov, SBA.gov/disaster, SBA.gov/WOS ready, or you can email at WOSB@SBA.com. I mean, we're giving you more than you need. And as you're watching this now, take a screen grab. I know that a lot of you are watching this. Take a screen grab, because then you'll have it. There's the .coms right there, guys. Now, United Way Relief Funds got their number, and then, of course, SummitSalon.com. Get prepared. So there it is. I mean, that's just the plan to find more fuel. But no, wait, there's more. You want to stay tuned on number one, because there is more on the way. The government, as we speak on a daily basis, is putting together fuel for who? People like you, me, we, to get us through this. We want to be taking advantage of it. In the meantime, this is big. Be resourceful. But you want to start hunting and gathering on the internet. And if you don't know what you're doing, find someone who does. Text them, one of your peers. Get in touch with the business manager at SOLA. They will help you to navigate this. But reach out. Like I said, talk to your bank and look at lines of credit. As I said before, I'm going to say it again. I had the conversation this morning. I'm looking at even my credit cards. If I need it, better to need it. Better to have it and not need it than in the last minute need it and not have it. And now I've got to get all stressed out by looking for it. So this is called proactivity on steroids. Right here. It's big. Now, I want to give you a couple of others, and this is the spend less thing. I really want you to hear what I'm talking now. As you're finding more fuel, turn down the burn rate. That right after the call I had with my banker, I sat down with the people in my life, my soulmate, my significant other, my daughter who helps me manage my business, and we went through and said, okay, let's go through dollar per dollar. How much money are we going to need in the next month to just kind of like run the business and sustain? And then what are we going to put a stop on? Like we're gonna turn down the burn rate. And this is really, really big. You own your business, I own my business, we own our business together. For every dollar that you can save by not spending it on typical stuff, that is $1 that you've earned. That's not the case when we're behind the chair. Every dollar that you earn behind the chair, it's got some costs in it. You know, you pay rent, you have supplies, you got taxes, you're putting money away for your vacations, your business expenses. And then what's ever left, you live on it. So to generate a dollar, it costs you money to generate dollars. But when you save a dollar, 100% of that saving goes to the bottom line. It goes to you, and you have now more fuel. You're saying, Michael, I'm really not good at the math stuff, and you're kind of confusing me. No, be quiet. I'm really good at it. You don't have to understand this to make this work for you. You just need to believe a couple things. One, I love you, Sola loves you, we love you, and we understand this. We're either pathological liars or crazy, or we know what we're talking about. So all you need to do, you don't need to understand this to be able to spend less money. So like go through your budget. And the last webinar I did with you, I actually gave you a calculator, you guys, that you could start budgeting your money. Go back to that again and do a new one and dial down this. I'm not asking you to throw yourself into a substandard lifestyle. I'm saying there's just a lot of times we unconsciously spend money because we're bored, we're depressed, or whatever that is. Consider lowering your burn rate for now. Now I'm moving right along. You're going to incur some debt. See it as short-term debt. When we get on the other side of this darn storm, trust me when I tell you, we'll have some webinars, and I have a feeling you're going to be so motivated to make more money because you're going to want to put out that debt. So I don't want to concern ourselves with that right now. And then last but not least, some of you, several of you, because you were sending me direct messages, you've begun saving money or you've been saving money. Do not be afraid to tap your nest egg. Use the reserve. I've had a call yesterday with the people that helped me manage money that I've saved over time, and I wanted to know to the dollar how much can I, if I need it, can I access so that I can subsidize my life. So there you have it. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking to you right now because this is a very sacred conversation to have. So I'm going to stop a second. I'm going to see if you guys have any. I'm going to look at my my dashboard to see if you have if you got any questions. Let me see. It says Twin City Solar is very lucky. You darn right you are. You're blessed. Our owners actually are helping you figure out your rent. Megan says, same with Portland right now too. Stephanie is saying, I'm always on a tight budget. Great stuff. Me too. And if we need to get it a little bit tighter, we're not going to freak out about it. Who else is so thankful to have sacrificed before and have a nest egg now? I love this. Jennifer Moore, if you read her, she's saying, she was in this conversation when I was having it in December. I bet, Jennifer, you were in the conversation before I had the conversation with you. And so now you're able to go back and start accessing some of your savings. Doesn't mean you're not stressed. Anytime we have to dip into our money, we get stressed. We're just less stressed because it's one less thing we have to think about. Who else? Sandra's saying, will they really lend money when not open, no revenue sold? Yeah, I'm telling you, Sandra, they will, honest. Crisscross my heart and hope to die that you qualify for getting money. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt and just see. If you don't ask, you won't get. And I'll bet you, a latte about that you'll be able to find some money. I'm telling you, Sandra. I love you too. I love you too much not to tell you that. Sheila's saying, are they giving you a few weeks off? What are good ways to keep our clients at peace with all this? Well, I live on Facebook and Instagram now, and I think to the degree that you can use your social media platforms to stay in touch with your clients, whether you're doing video tutorials, whether you're doing some posts, go to their pages, direct message them. Some of you have their email list to just stay in touch with them. It's called social. You have some sort of frequency. Tell them you miss them. Tell them you can't wait to see them. Ask them how their life is. You begin to bond with them. Yes, we are blessed from Sunnyvale, California. Solar Eugene really helps the studio owners. So a lot of you are bragging on your the people that really own the business. We won't be in business for 10 years, but just open my solar. I'm going to ask. Thanks for all the info. Okay, great. So I think we nipped it in the bud, you guys. We've been hanging out for about 25 minutes, so I know you're busy. I don't want to take too much of your time. It says here, if Texas doesn't mandate and I don't get a tax break, I'll be forced to do some stuff. Well, you do what you need to do, but check your resources, Stephanie. I'm telling you, check your resources. And Sheila is saying that she's having conversations with all the people in her business life to see if there can be some sort of deferment with financial obligations that they have. So there you have it. And somebody says, what's defer mean? Defer means you get to pay later. So don't be looking for a handout. Look for a hand up, because that's what's going to really make a difference. So you're in the game. You want to be co-creative with people around you. What's it say here? I've been through this before from the last recession, and I learned my lesson. I'm not so worried this time. I saved some money. Diana, if you guys got your mobiles, you got to read what Diana just said. I love it, Diana, because at least now my solar buddies don't think I'm lying to them. That there's people out there that actually save money. Leah says, well, you're welcome, Leah. She says lots of good stuff. Now, Jocelyn said, what's the best practice to get our clients back on the books when we do rebook? Well, right now, when you see it coming where you're going to be open, it's just tell them that you're open. I have a feeling that solar is going to bring us back, and we're going to pivot the conversation. Now that we're back in business, let's create a bonfire. I'm getting goosebumps now. And then pour some nitroglycerin on that. How do we use best social media practices? How do we use promotional strategies? So we will help you get there. So for right now, let's survive the tsunami. But getting your clients to come back is not going to be an issue. I promise you, when you turn your key and your studio is open, you're going to be overwhelmed by a number of clients that say, please beautify me. It's been 2, 3, 4 weeks and hurry, hurry, hurry. So you're not going to have to work hard to get clients to come back. You just need to keep the faith and stay in the game. It says this isn't just financial. There's a virus attached to this. Yes, there is. But we're all being sequestered now, my friend. We're doing what we can. If you want information on how to manage the virus, don't be watching me. Watch CNN. I'm here to help people, my solar buddies. I'm concerned with my friends in the community to get them through this. So you're right. I don't want to minimize the virus. So let's not get hung up on the theology. It's there. It's human. Take care of our people. Let's love them and be compassionate. But let's not forget, if there is no money, there can be no mission. I'm going to say that again. Mission is about spirituality and humanity and compassion and civility and ethic. That's mission. But if you don't have money, you don't have mission. And please don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I grew up in impoverished, very, very impoverished. I know poverty well. And you can see, I'm not being funny now. I'm being dead serious. This is a very, very, very sacred. It's not a secret conversation. It's sacred. So Sarah's saying, thanks, Michael. Thank you for this encouragement with all the negativity. It's refreshing to have somebody say, be proactive. And I'm saying, be proactive on steroids. How can we negotiate with our owners? I don't want to engage in that. I think that you do what you can do. Talk to some of your fellow peers that are on this, that are having this conversation, see what they've had, and then raise some consciousness. So, Angela, thank you. She said, this guy's awesome. All right, it's 1:29. I promised Angela and Melissa I wouldn't be on for longer than a half hour. So at any rate, it's wonderful. If you like this, tell Solar that you like this because I'll be back. I don't want to bug out on you. We want to have conversations to get you through this because this is like what Katrina was. What was it 10 years ago? This is today. So you had Katrina. We took the hit. Then there was the aftermath of the hit. And then there was the recovery from the aftermath and the hit. Same thing here. We're taking a hit, going to be some aftermath, there's going to be some recovery, but we will get you through this. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage says, I'm not going to let my fear get in the way of taking the actions that this man just told me to take. I'm going to take those actions. I'm going to survive. I'm a warrior. I've been to hell and back a few times and lived to tell about it. I'm going to get on the other side, and then I'm going to thrive. But I am not going to be enslaved by fear. Everybody around me might be fearful, and I might be fearful, but I'm not going to let fear stop me from taking the actions. And I'm going to stay away from people that are playing victims. I can't do anything about this. It's like, no, don't listen to those people. Stay close to empowered, inspired, motivated, positive people. Why? We become like those we associate with most. Now, I can go on and on and on. And I'm already 1 minute late. Melissa and Angela's going to holler at me, so I got to get off of this.com. Tell you I love you. It's going to be okay. We'll stay close and stay tuned. More will be revealed.